Good morning, everybody. This is Richard back at you. We got Miss Teresa on the camera. We got little Annie always hanging out in the shop, guys. Well, we've just about got our Chevelle done. Really excited about that. Been really working hard on it, but it just goes on and on and on. So we got Bobby's '89 Mustang in the house. We're going to be doing it. Check this out. This is really cool. I just love these little square body little Mustangs. This is a really nice car. Check it out on the side. Love the way it got the wheels tucked into the quarter panels. Isn't that really neat? Love the wheels on the car. Roll cage in it. This is I believe it's a turbocharged 6.0, likes 1,000 horsepower to the rear tires. Really, really neat car. Check this out, Teresa. These cars are really nice. It's really neat to have all this different type of cars in the shop all the time. Just you never know what I'm going to have in here, huh?
I think he's got this for sale too.
I think he does, yeah.
I'm not for sure, but
this is a really nice car. Tell you what it looks like under the hood. Now we're going to be doing the tranny in it. It's got a 400 tranny in it with a brake. Right now it's having issues. Big old turbo. What I like about this, I was able to use the manifolds. I still think that's a manifold kit. That's not a stock manifold, but you can use truck manifolds, I've heard, and turn them around and use them sometimes on different vehicles. But it turned out really nice. We're going to be excited to get it up in the air. I want to see if there's a lot of metal in the pan. We've already got a bunch of stuff ordered coming for it, but got a pump laid out. You know how it is with trans brakes and 400s. They like to eat pumps. So I got a really, really nice pump laid out for him that almost don't look like it has any miles on it. So well, anyway, guys, I'll get this up on the lift, and we'll look in the pan real quick. Hang on. Okay, we got our Mustang up in the air. See what it looks like under here. So it's got a 400 in it. You can see with a turbo exhaust dumps right here in this O2 sensor. Looks like it's got a 10 bolt in it. Double adjustable shocks. Got some aftermarket lower control arms and upper control arms, I see. The car's been sitting for quite some time. We're going to get the pan off this and see what's going on inside, see if there's any metal. Now they did have the pan off too, though. That's what's bad about it. And I'm not sure exactly what all they did, but let's get the pan off this thing. Okay, we've got the pan off of the Mustang. Everything looks intact. Made a mess, of course, but we definitely got an issue. We're gonna take it out and see what we got going on right there. That's some big old chunks, so we'll see. Good morning, everybody. We are back on the '89 Mustang. We got Miss Teresa in the house always, and look at little Annie. She loves hanging out here at the shop, guys, definitely. Well, anyway, we are on the 400, and it don't look good, guys. We got some pretty good sized chunks in there, and it is dirty, dirty, dirty. But what's good about it, we have our beautiful instant clean machine over here. Without this machine here, guys, it's just so hard to get them clean unless you have really good equipment. I mean, and this equipment right here is really, really good. So we're really hoping to add on to the equipment side there for a little bit, maybe. Does that sound right?
maybe.
Maybe. Annie, where you going?
She must be smelling something on that.
There's some mice in that car.
Still?
Still, yeah.
Whoa.
When I opened the trunk, one took off. I was supposed to put a mouse trap in it, try to catch them, but they're still in there.
Oh, that's what and you know what's funny is I was seeing those mouse, the deals where they get stuck
Oh, they
on
catch them,
them.
yeah. Like,
right.
Oh, the sticky traps.
Yeah, and I seen some of that and I thought about getting those because of this reason.
Right.
But and then I just walked away. I don't know. I think I was looking for you when we were in Walmart, you know, because you went one way and I went another. And I knew there was a reason I was going to get those. Blech.
I was worried about wiring problems with the car because the simple fact mice being in there, the fuel gauge not working and stuff like that. So when I put the sending unit into the gas tank, the gauge started working and stuff. So I'm really excited there. Checked the wiring from end to end, and it was good. So the mice didn't eat through that. So,
well, that's a
but
plus.
anyway, we got to get them out of there sooner or later.
I don't want them in my house. That's why I'm doing that.
I don't need it. So let's get this thing apart real quick so I can call Mr. Bobby and talk to him about it. Got some pretty good sized chunks in here. Bushing still looks really nice. These tail housings will normally they have a narrow bushing in here. I always go back with a wide bushing, and the bushing sticks out of the housing just a little bit towards the inside, but it still gives it a lot better stability when you go with the wide bush instead of a narrow. Now this is a trans brake unit, fully manual, reverse pattern. In other words, it goes from park, reverse, neutral, first, second, and third. Normally it'd go park, reverse, neutral, drive, second, and first. Totally backwards when you do the trans brake stuff. Now this is the solenoid here that activates the trans brake. When you push the button, this solenoid activates and puts it in reverse and drive at the same. When you got it in drive, you turn this on. It puts the reverse on. That way it locks the tranny down. It can't go nowhere. When you let go of the button, it takes it out of reverse. The car goes forward. Now this is a brand new solenoid. He was having issues with it, and he said this valve was stuck right here. This has a spring in here behind this valve. It just makes it a lot quicker release instead of the valve floating back. When this solenoid got a little button right there, that right there pushes on it. Okay, when it pushes on it, shoves it forward, and then when the solenoid releases, this spring helps push the valve back. That way it gets a quicker release off the trans brake, and the car gets moving quicker on the starting line. So, I want to talk about this converter real quick. This looks like a PTC converter. I'm not for sure, but it looks like one. Really nice unit. But if you look here on the hub, the gear was seated really nice. You can't get it seated any better than that into the pump. Pump gear, look at that, really good depth. I got a pump over here that I pulled up just to make sure I found a good core. But you can see the shiny right here. That gear wasn't even seating in but about maybe that far. This one here is seating in even is that far, so it's even better. So the clearance between the flywheel and the spacing and stuff was really good. But the problem is it's wore out right here. You can see where the gear's been chattering on it. It's wore out right here where the bushing is. Right there. All the way around. It's wore out. You can feel the lip.
Oh, wow.
So this hub is no good on this converter. It'll have to be sent off and be replaced. That's not good. That's an expensive item right there. Whether you send it back to have it rebuilt or replace it. Now, he did say he had another one, so we'll just have to see what he wants to do. But these do use a spacer right here, this crank spacer. This does not come with the torque converter. This is something you buy differently. You put it in the crank, and it's a pilot for the hub on the converter to make sure it's lined up good. Look at the stator, make sure it ain't been beaten on in it. Because this converter here is a spragless. It has no sprag in it. It's a one-way clutch. That there is a spragless unit. Are you guys sure you want to look in here?
I heard it was bad. Oh.
Yeah, it's bad. Now, I don't remember if he said he never serviced it since the tranny's been out, and it's been out for 5 years that I know of, since we did this unit. It does have a screen filter. On these high flow units, when you have a trans brake, you have to move a lot of fluid. A stock filter will not move enough fluid to supply the pump the fluid it needs, so you have to go with a screen style. These are cleanable to a certain extent. Oh, there's a piece of seal. That's part of a seal, so we know we've got something going on crazy. But being that this is this nasty, you chunk it. I mean, unless you want to sit there and try to get every fine piece of metal out of that filter, you know, you just chunk and get another one. They're not very expensive. Of course, this is our pickup tube for our filter, supplies fluid to the pump. Normally, there's just one O-ring right up in here. We always stack two. This is above fluid level, so if you get a seal that gets hard, it's capable of sucking air since fluid is down below it. Sucking air here, not good. Agitating the pump. Okay, if you notice, we don't have no governor tubes going from here to here for your governor. Totally gone. There's no holes for your passing gear switch. Normally there'd be a passing gear switch right here that would hook to a wire and went up to the gas pedal. So when you push the gas pedal down, it'd send 12 volts down here to the transmission and kick it down to passing gear. Now this is a modified valve, stock valve box. I'm not sure how many people even selling stock valve bodies anymore. Everybody's gone to a billet aluminum valve body now, CNC machine type stuff. Now, one thing about this is you have to keep the gaskets with the valve body. Your gaskets in your overhaul kit are not going to fit this. They will not work. This is a special gasket just for this valve body. You can look here. You can see where they modified it here. Put a plug, did a bunch of machining here through troughs and stuff. Added a little funny looking thing here. No accumulator at all or pin. Governor's tube holes have been plugged. Now you still have your not your pressure regulator valve, but your shift valves and everything's still in here, which it's been blocked. So a lot of modifications to the valve body. You just don't want to tear these gaskets. Because if everybody would put their name on their valve body or on the valve body plate, you know, Transgo or whoever did this work to this valve body and made these gaskets, because there's not going to be nothing on here to tell you whose valve body this is to get new gaskets. It's terrible. Been through that many times. So you just grab these gaskets and just be really careful. What's good about it is a lot of the companies that build these aftermarket valve bodies and stuff and the gaskets, they make these gaskets non-stick. The regular gaskets, it would stick to the case like crazy and you'd tear it coming off. But being it's an aftermarket gasket, they normally just release real easy and you don't tear them. Actually, I got bags of them over here, so I could have new gaskets for this too. If you notice here, there's no check balls in here at all. No check balls. You still have your center support bolt. Hollow bolt. This does have a smell to it though, doesn't it? Pretty strong smell.
A little bit, yeah.
This is our servo here in our accumulator system. This is our servo that applies the reverse band. This is our accumulator system here. Anytime you do a trans brake, you're going to be leaving these two seals off, this one here and this one here. Leave them totally out. They modified the valve body and stuff to accommodate for it. So you do have your little mystery nail. We always take and bend that up. That way it don't fall out. Normally they just shove them in the hole. You stand the case up in the parts washer, the nail falls out, and then your linkage slides in and out. All that nail does is keep the linkage from sliding in and out. Just take and bend it a little bit more. We got an 8-bolt pump, really nice. You don't see that too often. I mean, you do see it, but you don't see it a lot anymore. Hard to find them. If you look at this pump here that I found, if you notice, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you have these 2 bolt holes not even there. Now your stator body will have all the bolt holes. They did not make a stator that I know of that did not have all the bolt holes, but they did not put them in the pump bodies. Now even the case might have the threads in here for the bolts that are here, but they didn't put them there. There's no pressure pushing this pump out of the tranny like a 350 or something like that. But to get these other bolts, all I do is bolt the pump all back together, line it up and everything, torque it down, and then I just drill these 2 holes. Also, if you notice here, this is something they did to the 400s. They added a little bit of a loop circuit right here on the back side of this gear. These gears are really bad about going dry through here and shoving the gear that direction, especially when you put a lot of pressure to them, trans brake them and stuff like that. They always try to shove the gear that way. Next thing you know, you can move the gear sideways. But GM did put this oil right off the pressure regulator valve to come in here and put oil right on the side of this gear right here. You're going to think a pump could run dry, but it does. Okay. You can say, I would say this thrust washer is a little bit melted and pushed out. This is how you set your clearance up right here. They give you different thicknesses of these washers right here. And that's how you set your clearance up. But you're not going to get that off there. But if you notice, this is a sealing ring right here. This is your forward clutch sealing rings. These are high pressure rings. We don't ever use a steel ring or anything like that when we go to high pressure units. It has to be a Teflon ring.
Okay. So it like melted it up on that too?
It did. It forced it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
We see some crazy stuff, don't we, Teresa?
Yeah, now how did that do that?
Been hot.
Wow.
Tremendously hot. What happens is going on is something's happening back here in the back of the unit, shoving everything forward, and it puts so much load on this washer, it just pushed it out.
Oh, that's so crazy. I didn't see it pushing it out, but it pushed it up and...
Or just...
Yeah, exactly, like you said, exactly. Wow. Oh.
But you can see here, the pumps, it's just wiped out all through here. If you look at this, pump gear is just covered in metal, just grinded it all up. Like I said, GM didn't do that to all these pumps. If you notice, there's no trough right here to put oil on that gear, like this one. Put them side by side, you can see where it is. And which you can actually make that. If you got something, come in here and just cut that down right here. You can actually build that, do that yourself. It's not very much, don't need much. Just a little bit to add some extra oil back on the back side of that gear. So look at that, it wipes them out. If you notice this side, you can't tell, but this side's still nice and black, like it's almost never been touched. Maybe we can see it here. You can see a little shiny through here, but you notice over here, this side is all dark and black, like it's never been touched. The gear is always being forced that way for some reason. I don't know. Not really got into the logic part of that. Of course, we have our pressure regulator valve right here. Now we do come in here and restrict the oil going to the converter. These trannies, when you raise the pressure in them to about 240 psi, they want to shove the converter forward towards the motor, and it knocks out the thrust bearing in the motor. So we do come in here, drill it, tap it, and then we put 110 thousandths jet or a orifice in that hole right there to restrict oil coming through here going into the converter. This is your pressure regulator valve here. It's stuck solid. It won't move at all. I mean solid. Let's get down here and see what else we got going on. Now this is the forward clutch that moves it forward. And of course, the sealing rings on the stator that was smashed and burnt up is what applies this clutch right here. You notice it does have the Allison school bus, really high metallic aggressive clutches in here. No wave. Didn't burn the clutch up yet. You know, that sealing goes right through here, these seals. These two here, right here. Blow oil through that drum, pushes that piston out right there to apply the clutch. Oh yeah. It broke the case. Well, here's our case snap ring. We always use the Chrysler 727 forward snap ring. It's a lot wider and thicker to put in the groove right there to hold the intermediate clutch. This is your third gear clutch right here. Still has the really high aggressive Allison clutches in there. This snap ring, it ain't even on there no more. That went right there.
Right.
Does have the good sprag assembly in it, the heavy duty one. You want to look at this race and see if it's got chatter marks on it. So if it looks good, Scotch-Brite it up. Scotch-Brite through here, make sure it looks really good. Just because this drum has damage like this doesn't mean that it's really bad or anything. As long as this area right here is still good and this area through here is good. There's no band anymore, so this tranny has no engine braking. Yeah, we just blowed everything out of here. And we do have the 4L80E intermediate clutch pack in here. Got the thin clutches, thin steels. Now you notice I did leave the wavy in here. Second gear can hit really hard in these units, and it doesn't have to just really bang in second gear because the clutch is so big. But it broke the case right down in here and knocked all the lugs off the case. Wow. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do have 8 bolts here. Of course, we had 8 bolts to start with, but a lot of times this lug might not be here. This one won't be here, or this one right here won't be there, or this one will be here and it won't be tapped. So you can drill and tap it. So a lot of different ways GM did these, kind of for no reason. I don't even think they knew what they were doing at the time. We have our flat one side, bevel on the other. The bevel does come out. Always put the opening away from this area right here. Snap it in there. Now we did roller bearing the back of this. 350 pump bearing, special bushing back here to center it. A lot of times we do have a shim back here too. Because once you put these in there, this roller bearing set up, you need to mic everything. And then set your clearance, because you have clearance behind the support between here and here, and then you have clearance from the front forward. So there's two areas you have to check. I mean, the band's smoked. If they would have stopped right when this happened, there'd be so much less damage. But when it happened, they just kept trying to go and go and go.
What's that black deal?
This black piece right here is what is I call a lube washer.
Oh, that's
this sets up in here and it goes on this part here, and it keeps the planetary full of oil. It does have a gap like this wide for the oil to come out, but it just keeps everything loaded with oil in here. If you leave it out, it just slings it out on into the case. It sets in here like that, all the way around. A roller clutch here. They make several different kinds. They make them with legs, without legs.
With legs, without legs.
This baby got hot, hot. You can see the purple. Ain't a whole lot left, unfortunately.
Good thing he lives in Amarillo. This is one of those show and tell things.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Put a wide bushing back here. So many bearings and stuff in here. Races. Which is much metal is in this thing. You just want to replace all the bearings. Just trash them. They're going to be all junk. Now they do make bearings that have where every other bearing is missing. So if you find you some bearings that are that way, don't use those. Get the ones that are fully loaded. They do have them that way. Every other bearing's missing. I thought I was going to look. I thought these were the pieces laying in the pan.
Did you?
But it's not. It's actually the case.
Ouch.
So, but unfortunately, about the only thing good on this thing is nothing. Case slugs are all blowed out.
That is so crazy.
And on this one here, we actually lowered the pressure a lot on this one because we knew he was going to be doing. He lives out in the country, so he does a lot of town hopping, 30 miles on the highway, 30 miles on all that type of stuff. And of course, these 400s, when you lock them down to 240 psi or whatever, you know, they just don't like that stuff on the highway. Quarter mile at a time, stuff like that, eighth mile at a time, push it back. It ain't too bad on them. But when you get up on the highway and take off, 40 miles at 240 psi, it's really hard on that pump. So I'm going to try to get something together. Basically, he's looking at a whole core to get this back, plus everything it takes to fix it, plus a converter, and then trying to do some more upgrades to it to make dang sure that case doesn't break again. But even if you put all the updates there, you can still break the case. It doesn't matter. If you just make it shift so hard in second gear, that does happen. But I left the wave in there, everything to make sure it doesn't happen. It did anyway, so it is what it is. When you have a race car, it is what it is, man. I mean, I have a race car that can tear up anything if you don't maintenance it and all that type of stuff, Teresa, huh? It's all about maintenance. Like I said, the pan was never taken off this for 4 or 5 years. Never known what it was like, what was going on, anything like that. These race car trannies, they have to be serviced. If I build my unit and I go to the track, the very next weekend before I go out again, that pan's dropped and cleaned out and checked. It's just how it is. We've gone to races before, and the car moved backwards on the starting line because of a sealing ring leak or something like that. Remember, Teresa? I mean, so we go to the finals and lose because my transmission messed up because I didn't service it or something or didn't check it. So if we go to a big race, that train is out of the car. Check, put back in, gone. We're going to the race. Huh? Kind of crazy. But anyway, guys, we want to thank you for watching. We really appreciate y'all. We enjoy doing it. We have a lot of fun. And he's always hanging out. We got Miss Teresa always on the camera enjoying it. So, but hey, don't forget to subscribe, push your notification bell, and all that crazy stuff. But anyway, have a great day. Some of our items have come in for the 400 Turbo Mustang. So we're really excited about that. Getting things cleaned up. 480E drum come in like that. So new band. So this was a train wreck for sure. Going to take a lot to clean it up and get it back together. Going to take a lot of parts, but I give the customer two options of cases. I got a 10 bolt, or excuse me, an 8 bolt case, stock bell housing. That way, if something happens to the bell housing, we can cut it off, put an ultra bell. I also give him an option of I have a it's a 4-wheel drive case, but GM never drilled it out for the 4-wheel drive dust cover, so it's got a really thick lip all the way around. But the only problem is, if you notice, this lug hasn't been drilled and tapped for a bolt, which I can do that with no problem. But if you notice, this lug over here, it's not even there. If you look here, this lug is here. So we can put an ultra bell on this case, but it would only be held on with 7 bolts. So I'm kind of wanting to save this one because it's a thick lip on the sides, really thick compared to this thin one, see? So these are really good for race cars too, because it's harder to tear the bell housing off. Once you get up to 1,000 horsepower, it's going to happen to a 400 case. It doesn't matter. But I like to bolt the bell housing on with 8 bolts instead of 7. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back with the 8 bolt case. That way later on, when he can afford doing the bell housing, we can cut the bell housing and put it on there. So anyway.